Hey everyone, I hope you had a great day. Let's take a look at some new malicious compliance stories. I hope you enjoy them. Please let me know what you think about today's stories. The first story is called I Don't Have Time for This. I used to work as a stockman for a very big chain store. I was 17 years old, fit, into sports, and was not lazy. My stockman co-workers were lazy, slow, and had no motivation. If I saw a box that said 2-person lift, I just put it on my shoulder and left with the customer to the front checkout. My coworkers would go find someone, and even then they had a hard time lifting anything overhead. Customers were always so happy to have me help them, and I got frequent tips. I wasn't supposed to take tips, and I would tell them that. Some people insisted and would get angry if I didn't take it. The first time it happened, I reported it because my training said I was supposed to give it to the store. But the manager on duty said, I don't care what you do, I don't have time for this right now. In my 17-year-old mind I said, okay. The town I worked in was where rich people went to have a vacation and had homes they rented out for like $2,000 a week. They had no problem giving me $20 or more. I made so much money just being a decent, helpful human being that didn't waste people's time that I ended up getting my own down payment for my own car. The next story is called You Don't Want It? I work as a bike courier not in the US, delivering all sorts of the various packages of your online orders. I've been on this job for around 6 years on and off and have always made an effort to be kind and patient with all my customers. However, given the nature of my job, we do our best at keeping the pace high. The rules for delivery are as follows. Try the address. If no response, try a neighbor if a neighbor is available. Try between 2 and 5 neighbors if possible and leave it with them. If not, we return the package to the depot and try another 2 times on the next day. If it's still not possible to deliver, we hold the package 2 weeks until finally shipping it back to the original sender. There is some discretion left to each courier on what to do with the package. Our branch rarely has packages that are not delivered over 3 days and pretty much never have them sent back to the sender. However, it does happen. This particular day I was doing the evening shift delivering various packages to people's homes. It is one of the better delivery times since it's past 6 p.m. and most people are home from work by then and able to receive the order with no hassle. About halfway into the shift, I arrive at this lovely suburban home. I have a relatively big box to deliver to them. To my delight, as I walk up to their door, I see their whole family having dinner through the window. Now, I'm no fan of disturbing family time, but they ordered something and it's my job to deliver it too. So I give them a little wave as I approach their door and decided not to ring the bell as they saw me flailing their package around. The package is also very clearly branded from a specific brand, so they should know it is something they ordered. They all look at me for a hot minute and continue eating their food. Odd. But maybe they just didn't see me. I ring the bell and look through their window again. They all look at me, I point to their package and lift an eyebrow. They all look back at me, look at their food and continue eating. Alright. Now I ring once more, but this is getting frustrating. I ring one more time, glance through their window and basically shove the package as close to the window as possible, as if it's a portal to their backsides. And here is when the malicious compliance starts. They look at me and now visibly annoyed by my presence, they shoo me away. Now I'm getting mad. I treat people with respect and it's been a good 10 minutes I've been at their door. Wasting everyone's time. So I walk back to my bike, shove the package in my backpack and look at my tracker app. I have to report the status of the package. Delivered, neighbors, back to depot, not possible to deliver. I decided to look at what our interaction was, which was refusing to accept the package. They saw me, saw their package and indicated to me they didn't want it. So I marked it as such, meaning it's now delivered back to the sender. Back at the office, I mentioned this ordeal to find out this particular address has been acting like this ever since, and my supervisor basically said it was all good by me. A week later, I found out that our company blacklisted the address and refuses to deliver any packages there anymore. They now have to either order through different services or pay for a different shipping company or pick up at our depot instead. I hope you enjoyed today's video so far. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, don't forget to press the like button. It really helps. And now, on to the next story. The third story is called Listen to the Flight Attendant. My boyfriend and I went on the same flight, but he had mistakenly booked his seat right in front of me. A nice flight attendant noticed that we were together, and she told us that the plane wouldn't be full. So she would inform us if 2 adjacent seats would become available. It was a small plane and had 2 seats on each side of the aisle. While my boyfriend was loading our baggage in the overhead bin, a woman sat on the window seat of his row. I thought it might be a good chance to sit together. I mustered up all the courage I had in me and started to talk to her. "Hello, ma'am. Will it be alright if you switch seats with?" "No, I don't want to switch seats. I want my window seat," she said haughtily and proceeded to stare out the window. This discouraged me because I'm wary of confrontations, so I decided to shut up. However, the flight attendant from before was behind us and made her way to the woman. "Good morning, ma'am. This lady is asking, I don't want to switch seats. I booked a seat and I want my reserved seat." She angrily announced this without even looking away from the window. The attendant, still cheerful, said, "Of course, ma'am. You have the right to your reserved seat. May I please see your boarding pass?" The woman crisply presented her boarding pass. "Okay, ma'am. You may proceed to 19C, which is this seat," the flight attendant explained, pointing to the aisle seat. The woman was stunned, mouth moving inaudibly. She even looked frantically around for the seat number, then at her pass. But as expected, the flight attendant was right. After a few seconds, she hastily and violently, there was a lot of unnecessary sound of hitting stuff, moved to 19C. My boyfriend sat beside her, on the window seat of course. She spent the next boarding minutes just bowing her embarrassed head down her phone. The flight attendant gave me a devilishly knowing smile and I whispered a thank you. When all the passengers had boarded, the woman moved to an aisle seat way ahead of us. There were actually 3 window seats near us, but I guess she was too ashamed to take them. My boyfriend moved to the seat beside me. If she just pressed pause on her arrogant attitude and tried to listen to me or the flight attendant, she would be sitting on my window seat. The last story is called Don't Mess With Us. I work at a club, like a country club for the lower middle class. The club holds raffles and such games as incentives for people to choose us. Because of this, as well as a liquor license, we also hold a gambling license. Chuck is an elderly member of the club and has been coming here for years. He has a little clout and is a recognized face. Starting a couple of weeks ago, Chuck began being very annoyed that with a certain raffle type game that we run, our random number generator will occasionally produce the same number twice in a row. After all, it's random. He asked us to check the rules and see if that was okay. Side note, the branch of the government that monitors gambling and gambling licenses in New Zealand is called the Department of Internal Affairs, or DIA. I personally went to the DIA website and trawled through all the rules relevant to this type of gambling and I found nothing. I told Chuck as much and thought this would be the end of it, but of course not. To make a long story short, Chuck went to the DIA himself, and he found someone who agreed with him. We got an email telling us to stop, citing a rule that wasn't on the website. The rule doesn't explicitly state that we can't have the same number twice in a row. It is his interpretation of these rules that he is forcing us to comply with. Okay, fine, we won't argue. This is the guy who renews our gambling license, so Chuck wins. Of course he doesn't. See, Chuck's favorite drink is a quadruple whiskey on the rocks. In New Zealand, the largest drink you can serve is a double. Quadruples just aren't allowed. He gets around this by ordering a double whiskey on the rocks and a double whiskey shot. He then pours the shot into the other glass and happily takes his quadruple away. Technically legal, but by a certain interpretation of the law, not okay. Chuck will never have his favorite drink again. And he doesn't get to complain, because he's been very clear that loopholes aren't okay. I wasn't the first to deny him the quadruple, but I saw it happen. He responded very quietly. His face just kind of fell out of his "I'm gonna get a quadruple whiskey" smile. And I saw him think, oh damn. Then he amended his order to a double, paid sadly, and buggered off. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. And if you want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day and stay safe. Bye bye.